Hello and welcome to the Park Place. Today I'm doing something a bit different. This is a tier list, and you've probably seen one before because a lot of YouTubers do this when they're all out of ideas. I'm not out of ideas, I just felt like doing a tier list. Sit back, relax, grab a friend, grab some food, grab a popcorn, and watch me rank some rides on a tier list. Starting off, we have Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. You know, it's a basic Fantasyland style dark ride. You go to heck, you see some demons and stuff, B tier. Next up, we have Dumbo the Flying Elephant. You spin around in a Dumbo. That's it. S tier. I mean, there is a reason why this line is always long, right? Just like Peter Pan's flight. Okay, this ride's not bad, but it's not worth the waits that it gets. So that's why I'm putting Peter Pan's flight in C tier. And that's probably the most controversial thing I've said on this channel by far. Next up, we have Small World. Now, initially I was going to put this one in A tier, but then I realized that Andrew would probably kill me if I put it anywhere other than S tier. So I'm going to take my chances and put it in B tier. Now let's talk about the ride that I always bring up when Andrew says that Small World is the best, which is the Haunted Mansion. If you know me, you know that I love the Haunted Mansion. So that's why it's an easy S tier. Literally, this ride is a masterpiece. Something that a lot of people say about Radiator Springs Racers. Radiator Springs Racers is fun and all, and yeah, it's a good ride, but it has some, not good things. What I mean by that is, 1, the ride only sits 6 people. And second, you all probably know that I don't like Lightning Lane at this point, so this should come as no surprise to you, but it costs $20 extra per person to ride the ride and go through the Lightning Lane line. Like what? Whose idea was this? On top of that, the line's always really long.
Don't believe me? I stole Eliza's iPad. I'm gonna check right now.
Moving on.
I'm gonna call one of my friends to help me out real quick. I'll put him on speaker. Hey.
Yeah.
What's your favorite ride at Disneyland?
Rise of Resistance.
Rise of Resistance. Okay. Thanks for your assistance.
Hold on. Come on. Are you recording me?
No.
It's truly a shame that I have to do this. Rise of the Resistance goes in F tier. The only reason I did that is to make my friend mad. But moving on to the next ride on our list. Pinocchio's Daring Journey, yet another Fantasyland style dark ride. I'll admit, this ride kind of scared me when I was little, but it's okay. I didn't know if I thought I was going to become a donkey and get locked up or something, but I don't know. I'm not scared of it anymore though, so I'm just going to go ahead and put Pinocchio's Daring Journey in B tier. The B tier is kind of piling up. Mickey's Fun Wheel. Not the Pixar Pal Around. Mickey's Fun Wheel. Not this, that. Not that, this. I think you get the point. This is A tier because you can actually pronounce its name. Unlike the Pixar Pal, the Pixar Pal, the Pixar, the Pat. Splash Mountain. Wait, what's that sound? Oh no. Oh no. Wait, no! Okay, this guy clearly doesn't know how to make a good tier list. Now you might be wondering what happened to him. Don't worry. He'll be back. Anyway, Splash Mountain doesn't exist anymore, so it goes in F tier. Oh! Wait, I'm back. I don't know what just happened, and I don't think I want to. Anyway, Splash Mountain. I was there on its final day, and it was kind of emotional. And I miss Splash Mountain. I want it back, and they shouldn't be making Tiana's Bayou Adventure, but they're still doing it anyway. Sorry for my little tantrum. Anyway, Splash Mountain goes in S tier. May you rest in peace. California Screamin'. California Screamin'? Oh! Incredicoaster! Dodged a bullet there. The Incredicoaster is great. It's a nice, incredible, fun ride. I'll stop. I'm sorry. But, is it California Screamin'? Technically, it is still California Screamin'. It hits different though. It's not the same. It's California Screamin's better, and that's why Incredicoaster's A tier. Pirates Lair Rafts, S tier. A lot of you might be thinking, Alex, that's not a ride. Yes, it is. Look up Disneyland Rides on Google. It actually comes up. Next up is Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters. It's got everything you want in a ride. Quality animatronics, fun gameplay, and guns that definitely work all the time.
Imagine moving to me. Imagine like your gun working and mine not. Imagine moving to me.
If Andrew can't beat me, no one can. A tier. Jesse's Critter Carousel. It's a carousel. And you, sit on some critters. There's never a line, which I guess gives it some points, but it's just a carousel, which I guess also goes for King Arthur's carousel. C tier. That's why I call killing two birds with one stone. I'm not realizing just how many rides we have left to get through. So let's keep going. Next up is the ride that inspired me to become a terrible comedian. The one, the only, Jungle Cruise. Not the movie with The Rock. I feel like a lot of people take that movie for granted. That's also a joke I definitely came up with myself. You know what, actually, a lot of people take me for granted, actually. A lot of people say that my job is so easy that a monkey could do it. Oh. Those are apes. And that's also a joke that I definitely came up with. Jungle Cruise is a solid A tier. I know the jokes are kinda, for lack of a better word, terrible, but, isn't that the whole point? Also, does anyone remember Jingle Cruise? No? Just me? Man, what happened to holiday overlays? I miss them. Next up is Disneyland's newest attraction, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Just between you and me, there's a full video of it on my channel. I'll link it up here. Go watch it if you haven't. Who said that? Oh man, who could have said that? Must have been the voice in your head, huh? You should listen to it. Runaway Railway opened earlier this year in January, and it's a pretty good ride. It's not Rise of the Resistance, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cute, actually. I just really want to point out how dumb I look just pointing in that absolutely nothing in public. I look so stupid. I'm getting ahead of myself. Where was I? Anyways, I think Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is actually a really great addition to Toontown especially, but Disneyland respectively. I'm recording this part in post and I'm realizing just how much that doesn't make sense. But why would I re-record it? That'd be stupid. Who does that? So I think it gets an A tier, and I promise this will be the last A tier. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. A tier. Next up is Goofy Sky School. This ride's not only scary, like, as a ride in of itself, but, like, the ride itself is also just rusty, which adds to the fear factor, which fear is always pretty great, but, I feel like it's too much fear. The fear is that you're either gonna fly off the track or that the coaster's just gonna collapse on you. You know what? Just tear down the ride and rebuild it from the ground up. D tier. Joining Goofy Sky School in D tier is the Autopia. Like, bro, I sat in traffic just to get to the park. You think I want to keep sitting in traffic while I'm at the park? Like, come on! And on top of that, why has the line been so long recently? Like, the Autopia is supposed to be like one of those time killers that's not supposed to have a line ever. And on top of all that, they don't even open all the lanes when the line is long, so you have to wait even longer. Like, what are you doing? Moving on. Storybook Land Canal Boats is a great ride. It's just the only downside I can think of is that sometimes it takes quite a while to get on, but it's kind of worth it, especially when I used to be little, I was able to be the whale watcher, which was great. And then now since Elias is really little, he gets to be the whale watcher. Isn't that right, Elias?
Yep.
Elias, help me out real quick. Where do you think Storybook Land Canal Boats should go on the tier list?
A tier, I think.
We got another A tier. Even though you literally get eaten by a whale on the ride, the little miniatures are still really cool in my opinion. I liked them when I was little. I still like them to this day. And yeah. Storybook Land Canal Boats, A tier. Next up is, ooh, what's this? The Haunted Mansion Holiday? Did you get the joke? Cause like, what's this? It's like Jack Skellington. It's like the Nightmare Before Christmas. I try, okay? I don't know why exactly this is even on the tier list because it's not even its own attraction. It's technically an overlay, but it's a pretty good one. The only downside is it gets rid of normal Haunted Mansion time. I love the normal Haunted Mansion, so B tier. Next up on our list is Soarin' Over California, not Soarin' Around the World, because for some reason the photo that's in the tier list is Soarin' Over California, not Soarin' Over the World. But I mean, Soarin' over California technically does still exist, so you can't yell at me for that. Some say that Soarin' over California is a bit outdated, but you have to give it at least some credit for being one of the only rides at DCA that actually lived up to what it is originally supposed to be. So I think for that, it deserves an S tier. Next up is both the Mark Twain Riverboat and the sailing ship Columbia. I'm putting these both in the same section because they both serve essentially the same purpose and they're both essentially the same ride. The only difference is that the Mark Twain has shade, which is definitely a plus, which means the Mark Twain is better than the Columbia. So this is what our list is looking like now. We still got quite a while. So buckle up. No, seriously, we're talking about Indy, buckle up. This ride actually truly is a masterpiece. The only downsides is sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time the ride breaks down a lot. And I would say the waits are long, but like it actually goes by pretty fast. Once you go up the little bridge and into the actual temple, it goes by pretty quickly. That's assuming the ride doesn't break down while you're in the queue. And even if you do end up waiting quite a while, the queue's pretty immersive, so you have something to look at every part of the queue. So that's why it's an S tier. Next up is Snow White's Enchanted Wish, the reimagined version of Snow White's Scary Adventures. Now, if we were talking about Snow White's Scary Adventures, I'd probably put it in A tier, but since we're talking about Snow White's Enchanted Wish, I'd still probably put it in A tier, which is kind of weird because Snow White's Scary Adventures didn't scare me as a kid, but Pinocchio did. Like, how does that work? I was a pretty weird kid, just bear with me. Anyway, Snow White's Enchanted Wish is A tier. We're really starting to run low on time here, so I'm gonna get through these next few pretty quickly. Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout is S tier. It's fun, it's a vibe, S tier. Golden Zephyr's kind of mid, and I mentioned this in the things that make me mad about Disneyland video, but it closes like every time there's a slight breeze. C tier. Next up is the Disneyland Monorail.
Go this way. It's more of a ride than a transportation system, right? I don't know if this world functions more as a transportation system.
I did myself dirty. The monorail goes in S tier. It doesn't get more S tier than this. They're literally jellyfish. And who doesn't love jellyfishes? Next up is Star Tours, and on top of being a little bit jerky, I really don't like the 3D glasses, but they're tolerable, B tier. The Disneyland Railroad is a great way to pass the time and get away from the heat on a hot day. And even if it's not hot, the views of the park that it gives you are pretty cool. The Disneyland Railroad is a solid A tier. Grizzly River Run is a nice mix between a scenic and a thrilling ride, so I think it's earned its spot at A tier. Alice in Wonderland is yet another Fantasyland dark ride, so I think, just like every other Fantasyland dark ride so far, it goes in B tier. There honestly really isn't much to say about the red car trolley, besides ding ding. I think it's a pretty cool idea. I like the little tiny version on the Rock Candy Mountain. I think it's a solid C tier. We are now on the final stretch with just 4 attractions left to rank, so let's keep ranking. What I love about Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue is that it's really easily accessible actually, because it has a thing called Buddy Pass, where basically 2 to 3 people can basically skip the line, and since I'm always coming with 3 to 4 people, we either just get 1 Buddy Pass or we get 2 Buddy Passes for 2 people, so it's really useful. Aside from that though, it's really just one of those time killers, and it's air conditioned on the inside, so that's a big plus. I give Monsters Inc. B tier. Next up is Pirates of the Caribbean, S tier, no explanation. Next up is Ariel's Undersea Adventure. Now this line moves pretty quickly, so it's a nice time killer also. But one thing I will never forget though is when my mom started doing the dance that the Ariel animatronic here does and got the whole ride doing it. It was hilarious. I think Ariel's Undersea Adventure deserves a spot in B tier. Next on our list is the Matterhorn Bobsleds. Now, a lot of people say that this ride is very bumpy, which is true. But then again, you have to give it credit for being the world's first tubular steel roller coaster in the world. This ride was so inspirational that they actually made the Matterhorn a real thing. I'm kidding, of course. Anyways, that's the end of today's video. Thank you for watching and wait, what? Oh, there's one more? I forgot one? Oh, which one was it? Ah! No! Get it away from me. F tier. Die. No. Nuh-uh. Nope. Get it off my screen. Get it away. Get it off. Like, cut the video. That's it. Anyways, this is the complete, finished, 100% complete Disneyland Ride Tier List. Do you agree with my rankings, yes or no? I would love to hear from you down in the comments. But anyways, that's the actual end of today's video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, blah blah blah. And if you enjoy my content, please give it a share to some people who might also enjoy it. I actually had a lot of fun making this video, so if you want to see more tier lists from me, just let me know, because I'd be down. And like I said earlier, do you agree with my rankings? Do you disagree? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments, so like, yeah, go ahead, leave a comment. Anyways, that just about wraps it up for today. That's all for me for today, and I'll see you guys next time.